something which I know a little bit about, can sometimes portray American culture in some bizarre ways, and it makes people from other lands wonder, is everyone shooting at each other on the streets? Are people rich without working very hard? You see, they don't know what to expect. And upon coming here, many, if not most, are quite surprised. There are many things that could appear strange in this new land to them. Many newcomers are confused by American initial friendliness, the smiles, the handshakes. Then the Americans are gone, never to be seen again. They wonder why some Americans act friendly without necessarily wanting to become friends. And what is this obsession with time and money? And what is this buddy system? Shopping buddy, skiing buddy, business buddy, drinking buddy. Why do Americans seem to build relationships to suit their own needs? And isn't it strange that they always must be doing something? And why do they keep asking me where I'm from? Ask a few questions, get a few answers. If you want to start a friendship or some connection with an American, any American, you may have to start first and build the friendship slowly. Now, in your homeland, did you strike up many conversations with foreigners? Probably not. You may have to start first in the United States for the same reason why a foreigner coming to your country would have to start first to get to know you. Most people in most countries do not try to find foreigners with whom they could develop relationships. Now, this is just a common, universal attitude. It doesn't mean they don't want to be friends with you. It just means that they may wait for you to take the first step. So do it. Talk with your accent. Make a couple of mistakes. But start with confidence. You may be pleasantly surprised at just how easy it is.
Aside from Native Americans, the United States is comprised of people who came from other lands, their descendants who were born in the U.S., and new arrivals from other lands. The descendants, Americans, outnumber new arrivals 10 to 1. It's not easy to describe them.
I'd say I'm a Polish American.
I have a Dominican background.
Both English and Irish heritage, and some French.
Born and raised in Puerto Rico.
I have some Irish in me. I have some German, French, and English.
I consider myself to be an African American.
I'm the second generation.
Mexican American heritage.
4 immigrant grandparents.
There are many variations. You may find, however, some identifiable characteristics as you form friendships.
I'm an American. I come from the American culture. We are a short-term, action-oriented society full of problem solvers who care deeply about solving problems and creating results. We're an achievement-oriented society, very individualistic in our orientation, celebrity-driven, where we glorify the solo performer. We're also, the United States, a society of dreamers and doers. We believe that we can do anything that we set out to do.
Daniel Yankelovich, who has been studying public opinion for 45 years, surveyed Americans as to what they regard as enduring American values, the essence of what it means to live as an American in America. He gathered the following main replies. A belief in fairness, people getting what they earn as a consequence of individual actions and efforts. A belief in self-improvement, people constantly striving to better themselves through education and hard work. And a belief in democracy, that the judgment of the majority forms the basis of government.
Overall, most Americans honestly believe that America is the best country in the world, and many think that people living in other countries would rather move to America if given the chance. And that's how most Americans think. This thinking is passed down from generation to generation and reinforced by the floods of people coming to this country.
Most Americans are very patriotic. To Americans, time is money. Most Americans prefer to be called by their first name. Most prefer to be doing something rather than sitting and talking.
We work very hard, we play very hard, and we're very loud and obnoxious. At least that's how sometimes we come across to a lot of cultures who may be a lot more reserved, who may not believe that, you know, work is life, you know, as we so often do. My wife is an attorney, and she puts in outrageous hours at work. And, you know, when we discuss these things with, especially when I travel outside the U.S. and people, you know, we talk to people and say, you know, what do you do and this and that. And I tell them, well, you know, my wife, you know, sometimes usually comes home at midnight, you know, every day. And they just can't believe how hard we work and why, you know, the first question out of their mouth will be why? Why do you do this? You know, especially if you go to Europe where they, you know, 4 to 6 week vacations, they just can't understand.
Americans generally don't like to argue. They keep conversation on the surface and look for opinions that are similar to theirs. They like to get to the point. Most see themselves as honest, open, and friendly.
I find it difficult to define American culture. Most immigrants end up coming to Florida or New York or California, 3 totally different cultures. I spent a lot of time in New York, and then I visited North Dakota, and I thought I was in a different country. In fact, the change for me, I found it more difficult to move from Rochester, New York to Atlanta, Georgia, than I found it moving from Jamaica to New York City. The culture in America is so diverse, I'm not sure what you call the American culture.
David Hampshire, a British author, describes America tongue-in-cheek. He writes, "In America, size is everything, and bigger is always better. Big cars, big buildings, big homes, big jobs, big paychecks, big football players, Big Macs. America peddles dreams, hopes, and lifestyles, where life is a giant candy bar and all you've got to do is take a big bite."
It's not difficult to start talking to Americans. If you're nervous, it's all right to say so. If the room is too hot, start with that. Ask about anything. Ask about their families, their jobs, hobbies, travel experiences. Even ask about cultural factors. Just don't start with topics about money, religion, philosophy, or politics. Showing a sincere interest in the other person is the best strategy.
Remember, in any country, in all cultures, nothing attracts more than authentic interest and real respect.
When you're talking with someone, if you have very strong emotions about anything, these feelings will peek through like mushrooms after a rainstorm. People can tell when someone feels superior to us. It's obvious. It'll be in their voice, their mannerism, their posture, their language. And the same goes when someone feels inferior, angry, or envious, or any other strong emotion for the best outcome in any situation. You do not want to appear better than the person that you are interacting with. You may be more educated, have more money, be more popular, doesn't matter. To protect their own feelings, people will simply not see you that way. They will see you as arrogant, annoying, pompous. It's not a good start for any relationship. Remember, it's always best to be perceived as likable, warm, friendly.